All right, well, I'm actually going to start the recording now because that was great. So why don't you ask me the question you just asked me again?
What clues or hints do I see?
Okay.
Not staged, everybody. Not staged.
Okay. So you want to know what clues you see to the current storyline going on in this Dungeons and Dragons game. And you ask it to me and then roll a 12 on your investigation.
Correct.
Okay. So, in the last episode, the Everwatch Rangers, being of sound mind and body, found their way to the Carnath Roadhouse.
Neither of those are true.
Upon arriving, they discovered that the Roadhouse was being attacked by a group of bullywugs. The bullywugs are frog people, and appeared to be upset at the Carnath Roadhouse for even existing. Luckily, the Roadhouse was being protected by a large half-orc, a short humanoid, and a couple of people who were staying there at the time. The Everwatch Rangers dove into battle and dispatched the frogmen. They were then offered a job where they would stay on for a month, help weatherize Carnath Roadhouse for the winter, and run off any more frogmen attacks. They declined this, however, initially, because they didn't want to stick around for a month and wanted to get on the road down to Waterdeep. They were, however, very interested in making sure that an elderly woman who apparently would stop by Carnath Roadhouse in recent days had not shown up recently for about, I believe it was a month, I said. And they took to the Mere of Dead Men, the giant swamp that lies along the high road, to track her down. Along the way, they were ambushed by a number of bullywugs and giant toads, which gave them a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Knocked Cyran flat on his back, and had pretty much all of the rangers on the ropes. After clearing out this ambush utterly, they sat down in a clump of trees to take a short rest, which is where they are now. We will bring you over to the short rest screen. There we are. I want to make sure that you have all... we did it after last session, but I want to make sure that you have all healed up, and Puffer, you've gotten your spell slots back, and all of the stuff that resets on a short rest, because this was a short rest.
Is that a short joke?
What isn't at this point?
It can be if you'd like. It's like I'm versatile. So, you, Cyran, are sitting here looking at your new party, your new quote unquote family, if you will.
Yikes. Wouldn't call it that.
And you're thinking back on, all the things that have been and what you've seen while traveling with them. And you are searching around for it strikes you to consider if any of the weirdness that has just been sort of thrown at you pell-mell, just out of nowhere, if any of it seems connected, or if maybe you found something along the way that you might have forgotten in the hustle and bustle of travel. And that's when a burlap sack at your waist starts moving.
Oh, we still got this handbag, don't we?
Yeah, you do.
I like calling it a handbag. That makes me happy.
It's really great.
And that's what you get for your 12.
Okay.
Can I go loot the bodies?
Oh, right. Yeah, you guys need pairs of eyes. Yeah, all right.
Oh shit! I forgot we have to rip those giant ass frog eyes out.
Oh, true. I literally.
Oh, I just wanted to loot them for like gold and shit. But...
Okay.
You should take their dart.
All right. So you go over to the bodies, and you get right up on one. You're looking. Ugh. They're wearing
Gross.
moldy leathers and rotting cloth, and you notice on one of them that they're wearing a lady's top. It looks like a nice dress that they've ripped the skirt off of and are just wearing the top, and it looks like it was ugh. They have nothing on them besides stone spears and just a mishmash of pot metal daggers. It's a mess. They're awful creatures.
So nothing worth taking.
No, not really.
Do they have any of their darts though?
Let me have investigation. See if you can find the one that was darting you.
You mean the 7 who are darting me?
Yeah, okay. You find a dart gun, and
Oh, sick.
you find one dart gun, sir. And you actually find a pouch that you very carefully open and find 5 poison darts.
Nice.
Uh,
Can I look for some mud balls?
the weird balls for the bugs?
Yeah. Some bug balls,
If
you will.
they would lose their potency very quickly. You would know that. It's like whatever this goop is that they're throwing, like they're scooping it out of a single-use satchel at their side. And but sure.
I want to look for like the stuff the pouch is containing. That's what I wanted to look for.
Oh, okay. Like where are you looking?
Probably somewhere over here on all of their belts.
Okay. You find one.
Okay, I don't even need to roll. Okay.
Yeah.
So I found a mud ball bag thing.
Yep.
Pretty sweet.
It is dripping and foul smelling. Do you open it?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Yup.
So, Thanar, you want to cut their eyes out?
Sure. Sounds fun.
Oh, thank God. Fitz is gonna go back over here.
Then I was gonna climb right on top of the big frogs.
Yeah. Is
He's
this
gonna
just
just
out comes
Oh,
one?
God.
I'm gonna throw it down to Fitz to catch it.
Oh, nice. Fitz, let me have a dex check.
Oh, God. Dex.
That would be what would it be? Like sleight of hand? No.
Like a dex save.
Yeah, sure. Let me have a dexterity saving throw. Nice. It hits you square in the chest.
I cast shield.
Okay. Well, remove one charge from your staff.
Okay.
Or how many ever charges shield costs.
Okay.
And it does not get on your clothes, but it's still like either in your hands or on the ground, depending.
Definitely
Oh,
on
you
the
think
ground.
he touched that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it hits your chest, falls off, and then the shimmer of your shield dispels.
Thanar, what the hell?
We have to get them out of here somehow.
Did they give us a bag to carry these things in? I don't remember.
No.
They gave
But
us a jar.
yeah, that's right. It was a jar.
They did give us a jar. I'll start putting it in the jar because I'm pretty sure I have the jar.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I see right there, one large jar.
It sounds
One
like
large
somebody.
jar.
It sounds like somebody touched a down in your house.
Yeah,
Who touched
we'll
it?
kick the
down
field
it?
goal, but yeah, it's tied up now.
Okay.
Welcome to Super Bowl weekend, everybody.
Okay, so how many eyes do we harvest?
You get 11 pairs of eyeballs.
Oh, 22 eyes.
Yes, that is 22 eyes. Though the jar is
Or you could say 44 half eyeballs.
That's true.
the jar is too small for
88
the.
quarter eyeballs.
Dude, shut up.
You like how I waited until he started talking again? Me too.
The golden part of comedy is timing. Like everything about comedy is timing. The giant toad eyeballs are too big to fit in the jar.
How many can I fit in the jar?
Oh, you can get all of the small eyeballs in.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I have how many small ones and how many big ones?
You have how many frogs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 pairs of frogman eyeballs
Okay.
and 2 pair of giant frog eyeballs.
Okay. Hey, Thanar, you got something to put this in? It won't fit in this jar, as I'm trying to like
How big
push
are these
it into
eyeballs?
a jar.
I actually don't know.
Think bowling balls?
I bet they would fit in Fitz's hat.
That's a good idea. Hey, Fitz,
That's
can
not
I
a
have
good
your hat?
idea. No.
They are not
Yeah.
going to fit in his hat.
Oh yeah, he's got a small head.
One-
Hey, Fitz, you got anything you can carry these eyeballs with on you?
I don't think we're gonna realistically be able to get them out of here.
Can
This
I
mud's a little too deep to go around.
Let
can I
me.
conjure a bag?
Yes.
How long will that last for?
An hour.
So you're gonna use the level 2 spell to hold to some eyeballs.
No,
for
that's
an hour.
just a thing.
Yeah, he
That-
can. It's just a thing
Oh,
he can do.
okay.
I can just do that whenever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like he can cast it, and then Thanar can carry
Keep
it, and when they
recasting.
fall out on the ground, he can cast it again.
Okay.
Or it's like I imagine it's like when you're starting to lose the star in Mario Kart, it starts flashing. It's like when the bag starts flashing, it's time to get a new bag. All right, so that's
How do you do a bag-to-bag transfer? Just like throw one bag up in the air, conjure another one, and try and catch them all?
Or you just conjure another
just-
bag in the exact same spot as the
Yeah.
old bag.
yeah, I imagine that would be about how it would work.
You can decide how open you want the bag to be.
What? You're overthinking this, my dude.
Oh,
Probably.
Let's not talk about Thanar's gaping bag anymore.
Nice.
It's not mine. It's Fitz's gaping bag.
That's definitely not. I'm not carrying this shit.
Now I
Your
want
bag
I
still.
want to consider for just a moment that they are frogs. Frogs are edible. I mean, I'm not suggesting that you carve off a frog leg, but you could.
Hey, Fitz, you want to cut off a frog leg? I heard they're delicacies for the wealthy.
It's
Like
just looks
fish
at you.
eggs.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
like
yeah,
fish eggs,
frog
frog
eggs.
legs, you know.
Do we think there's some frog eggs around here? Maybe we can eat their babies.
I will cook it, but I'm not gonna cut it off or carry it. No chance.
All right. We're good. I think we're good. Is there anything
by
else
the
you
way,
guys
I'm
want to
gonna-
do here?
I'm gonna wrap that like mud ball bag in like a canvas so it doesn't get everywhere and like tie it to a belt.
Oh, if it starts leaking and it's like stains all your clothing, that'd be awful.
You are already attracting a number of bugs just by the mere
How am I attracting
the
bugs?
mere smell of it
They think
is
you're hot.
How are they carrying it?
huh what No, the bugs aren't. Okay, so they were also attracting bugs because they're
Oh, okay,
smelly,
gotcha.
stinky monsters. But they had
that would-
these oiled canvas sacks that you now have hanging off of your dadgum belt that was keeping most of the smell in.
Yeah,
And now you've got it hanging from your belt.
but it's keeping most of the smell in.
Yes.
As far as I'm told.
Yes, bugs, not swarms of bugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
when
That's
there's
fine.
a bug swarm, you've got a problem. But that only happens when the gunk is out of the bag.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We're also like in a swamp, so bugs are
Yeah,
normal.
they're all
Oh, yeah, I
bugs.
figured that much.
Yeah,
Hey
I'm gonna.
Fitz, you got some bug spray?
What's bug spray?
Like some spray that will get the bugs to go away?
Yeah, let me have all of you make a con saving throw.
Oh Jesus, I like this already.
Saving.
Yikes!
Big fucking pog.
I just died.
We doubled each of our numbers. Nice, you guys.
Cyran and Fitz, you begin itching. Apparently the mosquitoes are out in force. Thanar, thanks to your half-orc heritage, you have very thick skin.
Very nice.
Yeah. Itch, 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 itch.
Oh God, please no.
All right. So,
Okay, guys, let's try to find this lady. I want to get away from these bugs.
all right.
But
So,
let's try to be stealthy this time, so we don't attract like 13 frogs.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
so we get back out onto the main map here. And you guys are a fair bit into the mirror at this point. And you know, the swamp is dense and the mud is thick. Luckily, there's still a path that you're following. You're beginning to wonder how on earth an old woman would travel this path by herself. And you've like since you actually left the road following the cook at Carnath Roadhouse, whose name is Gristle Pete, by the way, following his directions, you've been walking for an hour, 2 hours maybe off the path. And all of a sudden, out just like you're rounding a corner, right? And you see it. Just sitting there in the middle of this little clearing, next to
I checked for traps.
roll investigation. No, yeah, okay,
Nice.
All
Look
right,
at
yeah.
those little-
yeah.
Nice.
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 You don't see any traps.
What type of skull is on the roof?
Roll perception.
Very nice.
Yikes. We're rolling great, boys.
It's a Tarrasque. No, it appears to be just some sort of a deer or an elk of some sort.
Okay.
Just sort of mounted up there like a weather vane.
Looks like a witch's hut.
Well, I mean, as you get closer, you see that there are lights on in the windows from like a fire or something, and it's dead silent around you. And then as you get closer, because I imagine at this point you are approaching this house.
Stealthily.
Okay. As you approach the path onto the house, you see 5 bullywugs creeping up towards the front door.
That's the mini frog boys, right?
Yeah, the standard like short humanoid.
Just imagine
But-
5 of those big ass
I
things
was
trying
just
to
making-
walk up to a house
Yeah.
quietly.
Yeah.
Well, I was just making sure because if it was those, we're leaving. This old woman can die. It's fine.
But you see them, and they've got spears, and they're crouched over on all fours. And one of them looks back towards the others, stands up, And as it takes a step forward, a ball of flame comes arcing out from the front door and explodes in the middle of them. And there's just this blinding flash and a wave of heat. And then when it all goes quiet again, there is a blackened crater where they were and nothing else. You see this
Did she damage her
wrinkled old lady come out. If I ever see you again, you'll get more of it. You stay off of my lawn. Hello? Who's out there?
Hello? We're travelers from the Karnath Roadhouse. Please don't fireball us.
Yeah. You're an orc.
He's a half-orc.
You're a gnome. That's worse. Gnomes?
You're not wrong.
Gnomes get into all of my things, dearie. You mess with my potions and try to snatch my ingredients. You know how hard it is to get some of these ingredients?
Fitz mumbles, maybe you deserved it.
I heard that.
Isn't she like across the swamp?
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck? Okay.
What are you doing here? It's dangerous in these swamps.
That's why we're here. The owner of the roadhouse was wondering if you were still alive. He said it'd been a while since you'd been around.
The roadhouse? Oh, Karn. Oh, yes. Did Bog send you? He's such a nice boy. Well, come in this way. Get closer so I can see you better. Do you approach?
Begin walking towards her.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll walk closer.
All right. I mean,
All grump behind.
you look at this house and it's a bit run down. You know, it's leaning a bit. There's some holes in the awnings, and this is ramshackle as it gets. But it's not awful. There are, as you see, like skeletons of all sorts of things just sort of strewn about. Weird metal contraptions sticking out of every which way, some of which like arc with electricity every now and again for no apparent reason. And she's like, don't touch anything. And she's looking directly at you, Fitz. Yeah. Some of these are very delicate, sweetie. Now, let me see. Let Granny get a look at you here. Let me see here. Yes. Yes, you're a strong one, she says to you, Thanar.
Thanar puffs his chest.
Yes. Yes, you would do quite well in a fight, I think. And you there, and she turns to Cyran. Not quite so well.
What is that supposed to mean?
And she's long, thin finger and pokes you in the chest. And she goes to Fitz. And you.
What?
Sorry about that earlier. You know, it's just history, you know. I get. There was a time when I didn't live in the swamp, you know. It was many years ago now. I was living up closer to Neverwinter, I believe it was. As a band of gnomes came through, you know, just traveling, and they were doing all sorts of magic and hoo-ha. You know how gnomes are, and they were just... They touched my newts. They got into my dried newts and just messed with the whole batch. I was using those.
How long does it take to dry a newt?
You know, I've not done it in a while. I started buying them pre-dried. It was less work.
Where do you buy that from?
Yeah, shush, shush now, don't ask Granny questions. Come in, come in. And she leads you inside. And what you see as you enter is old stuff. And like,
Does she have a cane, by the way?
she has a staff
Okay.
that is crooked and warped and has moss growing off of the head of it. And
Okay.
she's like grabbing it. She's a bit bent over. You would guess she's maybe in her
90s.
mid-60s, mid-70s, 200, somewhere in that range. And the staff goes up to right beside her head, and then it arcs over just a little bit, and it's got like grass falling off of it. She's going in. She's spry for an old woman. Long gray hair.
She's human, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, humanoid. That's like, what do you want from me? It's like she has 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 nose,
I meant
2
race
eyes.
wise.
Huh?
I meant race wise.
Oh yeah, she appears to be human.
Okay.
Yeah. She takes you inside, and you see it's like old, kind of sagging shelves with glass bottles and weird floating like eyeballs in them, and in floating in green fluid, and then like a bottle
Eyeballs
of
float in wet green grass.
huh.
Shut
No,
up.
never mind.
And then like bottles of different colors of like a thick viscous fluids, and then sort of you have the sitting area, which has a big round table with a doily in the middle, and then a pot, and then a dead flower in it. And then there are 4 chairs around that. Sorry, no, 2 chairs and a couch. And it's set in front of a fireplace that has seen much better days. And then past that, towards the back of the building, you see a staircase down, and it goes out. It looks almost outside, but it's enclosed.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like a step down into an atrium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you look down that way, you see it is bare dirt stomped flat. And then in the middle is a ring of stones. And sitting over those stones is a giant black cauldron that is bubbling.
Very nice.
Yes. And she will hobble over like off screen, and you'll hear from the back, "Tea."
All right, are you
What kind of
offering?
thing?
Of course I'm offering. What kind of a host would I be if I didn't give my company tea?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take a cup.
Kids these days don't know how to handle a simple visiting.
Jesus Christ.
As you're just crashing and clanging, and does someone want to come and get the tray?
Hey, strong guy, how about you get that tray?
Thanar will
I'm too
stand
weak
up.
for that.
I'm too short for that.
You walk into this. The kitchen's not great. Like, the kitchen's not great. But, she's got a big sort of cast iron tray. Like, for no apparent reason, it's made of cast iron.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it's just like, if you look at it a bit closer, it appears to be like a shield of some sort that she's found somewhere. And she's using it as a serving tray. And it's got...
Thanar digs it.
Yeah, it's got some weird cookies on it, and like, you think those are sugar cubes, Probably. Maybe. And then like a couple of little glass vials of something, and the cream is there, but that's the wrong shade of yellow. And you carry it in and you set it on the the coffee table in front of the fireplace, and she comes in with another smaller tray that has a chipped tea set on it. She sets it out in front of all of you, and she goes back, and she comes back in, and she's carrying a boiling kettle on the end of her staff, and she sets that down on the table as well. She's like, yeah, now, let me see. And she sits down in the chair closest to the fireplace and says, why are you here again? Oh, right, Carnath Roadhouse. Yes. Who runs that hovel now? What's his name? Oh, dear. Bogluck. That's his name. He's a half-orc. Like you, sir. Yes. He's running it for, 2 years now, I think. Is that right? 2 years? Has it been that long?
Wouldn't know. We only
You
got
would
there
know better.
yesterday.
No. Yesterday. Oh, so you knew. Oh, you were worried about Granny. Oh, that's so kind of you. And she pats Fitz on the head. They're such good boys.
On his hat or on his head?
She's going for the head, and she sort of just folds the top of the hat over and pats the hat. This is an adorable hat that you have, sweetie. May I look at it? And she takes it off of your head.
Oh shit.
Okay.
And she's looking at it and say, yes, I haven't seen one of these in a million years, it seems like. Goodness gracious. There's a hat of wizardry, yes? That's what they call them. And she, like, sticks her hand in and is, like, just, like, wiggling the tip of it out into space. And she's like,
Just the tip?
just the tip. And she puts it on. I've always loved these hats, yes. Quite. And she takes the hat off and puts it, gives it back to Fitz. Hey, thank you, dearie. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's having a great time. As I, why were they just, Bog sent you here? No, it wouldn't have been Bog, would it? It was, that kind old man with the beard, yes? The cook.
Yeah.
Yes, old Pete. Oh, he's a sweetheart. I think he has designs on me, and I'm so young for him. Oh, let's see. Someone is dying, and I love it. Who's dying presently?
It's Fitz
Yeah, Fitz is...
and me.
Let me see. They were afraid that I was in trouble, right? Out here in the middle of nowhere. Oh, dear. Well, I'm sure that you can see I'm well capable of taking care of myself. I wouldn't have got to this ripe old age if I wasn't able to handle my own business, yes?
That makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like every question she asks is rhetorical, and I never know.
Every single one.
I have
Like-
no clue when to speak.
Have
You
you...
guys know...
Cyran doesn't know rhetorical questions.
Gear, you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Yes.
This is the frog-sucking
This is
lady.
the potion lady.
Yeah, this is the frog-sucking lady.
It is.
Ah.
Gosh, you're right.
It's like, have you ever talked to an old person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Usually the ones
I
I
don't
know
usually
of-
talk to senile ones, though.
Yeah.
Like, then you're doing life wrong. Let me see now. where are you going?
Well, the end goal is Waterdeep.
Waterdeep. Oh, have you been there before?
We
I
have
am.
not.
Oh, us two haven't.
Oh, it's such a lovely city. I was there when I was very young, you know. It was...
So, like, just a couple years ago?
Oh, you're my new favorite. Here, dearie, try some tea. And it
How's the tea?
well, so you know mud. Like the consistency of mud, but less so and closer to tea than mud, but there is the scale. And
it's definitely got a little chunky to it.
Oh yeah, this is that extra chunky tea they're selling on like high-end shelves, you know. The kids are all into it right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll definitely act like it tastes really good, though.
You guys just remember I put my teacup behind my monitor at like noon this morning and forgot I was there until now.
You also have chunky tea. Do you do, however, drink it?
Yes.
Okay. It tastes fine. Like, it does not look like it's going to taste fine at all, but it does.
How's the texture?
Because I feel like texture would fuck me up.
You said like mud, but
I mean, it pours real thick. Like the flavor isn't
is it
bad.
like slop?
It's not sludge. No, it's just viscous. It's like, have you ever seen? You're too young for this, but like commercials for like Ghostbusters slime.
You know, I don't think I've seen them for Ghostbusters slime, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I can imagine it.
Yeah, it's like watered down Ghostbusters slime. Would you like some sugar, dearie?
Sure. Do you recommend it?
I do. I very much do.
I'll take
Swamp
some.
water doesn't make the best tea, but you know, we make do.
It makes a noise in his throat, but it's like it's nothing more than like a.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's better with the sugar for sure. Like, it's a lot better with the sugar. Now, let me see. Now that we've got some tea, help yourself, dearies, all around. Waterdeep, yes. Now, there's opportunities in Waterdeep. That's been
what we're looking for.
Yes. Everyone goes to Waterdeep looking for opportunities. I'm not sure how many of them find them, though. They usually find trouble. Lots of trouble. You can get into trouble very easily in Waterdeep.
I suppose we'd settle for that too.
Of course you would,
Trouble
dearie.
pays.
Of course you would. They all would, and it works out well for most of them.
Men are slowly becoming unnerved. He doesn't like weird old ladies, he guesses.
So why do you live out here?
Distant look. And then she blinks and comes back. Oh, that's a wonderful question, my dear. Yes, I make potions. And there's a lot of life in the swamp.
Will you give me your strongest potions, potion seller?
Oh, my dear, you can't handle my strongest potions. Goodness gracious, my dear, they would burn you alive from the inside out.
Potion seller!
I don't sell them. Well, I do sell them, but not often. I make them.
Who uses them if they're all the way out here?
Well, you know, I take them to a place that does sell them, and they give me a bit of the reward, you know, from that. It's how I live in such ways. Those dried newts I told you about don't buy themselves, you know. They get sold up and down the coast to Neverwinter, to Waterdeep, I suppose, Baldur's Gate sometimes, but mostly it's just an old lady alone in the forest, and was making potions in my cauldron. It's all that sort of thing.
Fitz briefly considers a trade partnership, but then quickly does not want that.
Yes, some ingredients are very difficult to come by, even in the swamp, It's guarded by large things. And, there was a potion I heard about not long ago. It's a potion of giant strength, I think it was. The problem with that is it requires, giants.
A giant?
Yes, that, dearie. Thank you. And giants aren't hard to come by. Oh, they're, you can find them all over. They don't hide very well. But they don't like to give you their blood, you see. And
I wonder why.
It's very strange, They have so much of it. It takes so little blood to make a potion. Just a drop or two, a large drop. No more than a liter at a time.
How much blood do gnomes have?
Less than humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Humans have, is it 7 liters?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. Because if it is 7...
5.5.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
4.5 to 5.5.
Huh.
How much do they take in a blood drawing?
A couple of, like a pint, maybe.
How much blood loss does it take to die?
Less than half.
30 to 40%.
Yeah. Anyway, is I heard, and she shushes and leans in. I heard that if you have enough Yeti hair, you can replace the fire giant blood in certain kinds of potions that relate to giant strength. Why Yeti? I don't know, my dears, but it works. But
Are there any ingredients you're looking for currently?
Oh, all the time, my dear, all the time. But as I can't get them myself, It's I'm not going to shave a Yeti. As much as I might enjoy it, it's not something they would let me do. Very large hands, with claws, and the big feet is unnerving. Oh, and the teeth, yes, also the teeth and the roaring, and they're very mad a lot. Yeah, all that. You've heard them in the mountains, I'm sure.
I can't say I have.
Oh, you've never lived, my dear, till you've been hunted across the mountains by a Bigfoot. Oh, it's the most enjoyable. Sets the entire hair on the back of your neck alight. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me see, you did say you were going to Waterdeep, though. I have a sister in Waterdeep, She helps me out sometimes and sends me things and items and doodads and the things I can't get out here normally. She could use your help. Yes. Yeah, if you're looking for work, that is.
We did say we were looking for opportunities.
Yes, it's most fortuitous, yes. Yeah. Yes, wait 1 second. And she stands up quickly and bustles, and you hear a thud as she goes upstairs that are apparently there. And you hear thud. Rustle.
She walks that fast?
Yeah, it's like she's had an idea has struck her, and you hear like her feet like bustling along the floor and the ka-chunk of her staff, and it's like rustle. You hear a thunk, Rustle, rustle, rustle. Ah! I found it! Conk. Thud. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. And then down the stairs she comes again. I found it, my dears. And she sits back down and she has a scroll tube in one hand and a box in the other. And she sets the box down in front of her, and then she just goes to throw the serving tray off the table. Is it? Could you move this, please, dear?
I'll pick it up and just
No.
hold it. Don't know where to put it.
You just hold it. It's like,
Yep.
on the floor, dearie, on the floor. Goodness gracious, when you don't know where to put anything, you put it on the only open flat surface, which is the floor. Were you raised in a barn, dear?
There's more open flat surfaces in a barn.
Quite right. Quite right you are. Yes, indeed. There's also cows and hay. It's quite pleasant, oddly enough. Yes, anyway. Yes, she opens the scroll tube, and out comes a piece of parchment, and she reaches down the front of her shirt, fishes around, and then pulls out a monocle. And she's looking at it. Yes, quite. Let's see here. Sister sent me this. It's been forever since I looked at it, you know. It's contract, you know. We would be entering an agreement if you did this, and as a representative of the firm, I'm legally able to sign you on. This is boring. Listen, this is how this works. And she rolls this scroll back up, and she uses it like a pointer, and she's like pointing at each of you in turn. She's like, if you would like to do some monster hunting, you see, you put your name on this piece of paper, and she taps it with another finger, and then you take it with you, and you give it to my sister in Waterdeep, right? Right. And she will be able to give you interesting creatures that she needs slaughtered, to put it lightly, and then you skin them, and you gut them, and you take out all the bits that she needs, and all of the bits that I want, and then you tan the hide, shave it raw, and bring it back, and she'll pay you.
What monster?
Thanar's already reaching to sign.
Lots of monsters, dearie. There's the Yetis I mentioned earlier.
Why are there Yetis in Waterdeep?
They're not in Waterdeep, my dear. The god would never allow that. How dare you suggest that the god of Waterdeep is so lax in their duties that they would allow Bigfoot to wander the streets? Why, that's
What's Bigfoot?
not that unreasonable, actually, come to think of it. I'm sure I've seen far worse than Yeti wandering Waterdeep streets when I was a little girl.
I'm sure you've seen gnomes.
Quite. There's a lot of gnomes in Waterdeep. Oh, goodness. There's so many. I'm surprised they're able to keep anything on the shelves with the sticky little thing. I'm so sorry, my dear. Oh, goodness. That was horribly offensive. I apologize. Granny's getting old, you know. It wasn't that bad when I was a girl, you know. I'm trying to adapt to these newfangled model times, you know. But anyway, you know, beside the point, yes. Occasionally you get requests for dragon's blood, dragon scales, dragon fangs go for a nice price, you know.
Thanar's eyes are glowing.
Yeah, you could get they've got no hands. You see, the beaks, no hands, claws, the hook horrors. You know those claws go for a lot of money. I would love to have my hands on a hook horror.
What's a hook horror?
Well, so imagine a horror with hooks for hands. It's like that.
Oh, thanks for clarifying.
Anytime, my dear, anytime. Don't hesitate to ask. Anyway, yes. So yes, if you sign here, please, right on the dotted line. And she unrolls it, and there's the whole thing. And there's like empty space for names. Yes, and you just sign right here, my dears. Oh, wait, hold on. And she reaches up on the mantle and pulls down a pot of ink and a quill. You get something special from Granny out of this. Shh, don't tell anyone, but I have something that will help you in your journeys.
What the fuck?
I'm like scared.
Is it frozen frogs?
You have frozen frogs. Oh, it's so difficult to get them out here, you know. It's the swamp. It's very humid. They melt almost immediately. But no, did you have any? I remember back when I was living up north in Amphale, I believe it was, you know. Many years ago, they had the finest frozen frogs. You could just wander out into any nearby bog and pull them out by the handful. It was so delicious. You hop them in your mouth. Hop. You suck on them until they thawed out, and then you spit them back in the bog for later. It was delightful.
I don't even know what's happening anymore.
I'm gonna be honest, neither do I.
So the short version is she has given you a piece of paper to sign, and if you sign it, you are an employee, quote unquote, of her sister's adventuring, like, monster getting association.
Like a Slayer's Guild?
Something akin to that, yes. No tattoos required.
Okay, good.
See, I got the paper part, but then the actual, like, what I was signing into got lost amongst everything else that was going on.
Yep, she's just trying to make a deal with you.
Thanar wants to hunt dragons.
I don't think, or Cyran doesn't think that we could kill a dragon.
Oh, my dear.
Thanar
dear.
thinks he could kill a dragon.
Right. Well, are you having this discussion?
No.
Okay.
He's having it in his head.
Yeah, Thanar is having the discussion with the sword of a god that he has found in his imagination that will allow him to kill a dragon. I'm hearing the giant swelling music, and it's Thanar with his shirt off and a beautiful orc woman in one arm as he stands on the corpse of a dragon, his sword held high aloft.
I mean, I think nothing's wrong with signing the contract. We can just do some simple jobs to start off with.
We haven't even met her.
I mean, is that bad? We're looking for a job in Waterdeep. This is a job in Waterdeep.
It's quite a good job.
Look how excited Thanar looks right now.
Oh, Thanar's already signed, by the way. If you guys,
yeah, exactly.
If you guys missed that, Thanar already signed.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Just while the other two are talking,
yeah,
they just look up, ink on the page.
I guess I'll sign as well.
What's another contract, right?
Yeah. What happens if we don't do the contract? Nothing. So I'll just sign it.
Yeah, I've broken contracts before, and I'll sign it. Really big signature, as usual.
Wonderful, my dears, wonderful. You know, there's nothing I like better than a fine potion and a new contract. Now, and she rolls it up and puts it in the tube and then seals the tube and then twists, and there's a bit of a sparkle from where she twists on the end, and she takes it in both hands and hands it to Thanar.
What does this do?
It's a scroll tube, my dear. It holds scrolls.
Okay.
Hold on to that until you meet my sister. She's in Waterdeep, as I said. And
What's her name and where can we find her?
That is to be determined.
Okay.
Yeah, like
She would have told us, but you don't have.
She
you don't know
does tell you.
Okay.
Right? And she will even go so far as to tell you how to find her. The problem that I'm having right now is that I am still preparing the map of Waterdeep.
Oh, okay.
And it is enormous.
Yeah.
Like this.
I can't believe you would do that to yourself.
I know, right?
Can't believe you would let us go to Waterdeep.
I know, right? I
Like,
told him
just
all
tell
of
us,
it.
like, oh, half of it got nuked. There's half of a town left, by the way.
Or you can just be like, fuck your Waterdeep.
Exactly. Half of it got nuked. Oh, wait, now 3/4 of it got nuked.
Yeah, but then, like, what does that mean to the economy? Right?
Nuked.
It's like I need to know what that does to the rest of the town. Now, dearies, I told you I'd give you something special, and so I will. And she reaches down, and she has this little box, and she says, "Now, this is something I made myself. This is a special item, you see, and since I made it, and I'm the only one that can, my sister will recognize it immediately. So even if you have the contract, she's a bit of a sketchy sort, you know. Bit of the weirdo in the family, moving off to the big city, you know. But if you have this, she'll recognize that it's from me, and she'll take you on immediately." And she opens it up and pulls out with her thin fingers, pulls out this necklace on a leather strap with a metal clasp in the back, and it has arranged on the outside like alligator teeth and like aquamarine beads leading down to a gold piece, like a Waterdeep half moon, a Waterdeep crescent moon piece that has holes punched in it that weren't there originally. And then each of the holes is filled with a different color stone. You say, here now. Which one of you will take this?
Does it do anything, or is it just pretty?
I think it's pretty. And it does things.
Like what?
Well,
Fucking hell.
Then I was just gonna hold his hand out. I'll carry it.
there you go, dear. There you go.
What does it do?
Are you familiar with the, familiar? Yes. Excuse me. The Find Familiar spell.
Yeah.
That's what it do.
Oh.
Now, once per day, my dears, once per day.
That's actually pretty good.
Yes, I thought so.
You have to be able to cast spells to use it.
Oh, no, dear, no, not at all. No. The magic's in the necklace, you see. I put it there myself.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, I'm very good at what I do, my dear. Very good. Now.
Well,
Now.
who wants it?
I already took it.
Yeah, Thanar has it. Is it? Did you put it on?
No, I just have it in my hand.
Okay.
'cause-
It's in your hand.
Yeah.
Now, just when you get to Waterdeep, show it to my sister. It'll be fine. Yes. And then, if it ever gets particularly interesting, I have eyes and ears in the swamp, you know. And there's always weird things happening out here. These frog people aren't a problem. For me, I can handle my own self, you know. Quite formidable in my youth and even now. something to watch out for. But the real danger's in the swamp. That's the undead. And there's enough undead out here for an entire army. If one were looking for such a thing.
Wait, I think you cut out. You said there's enough undead out here, and
For an entire army.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes it more important.
That makes it a lot scarier.
I was like, there's a lot of undead out here. If you want, I was like, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of undead, you know. Yes, left over from an ancient civilization. As they had a necromancer out here, you know. It's a vile creatures, bunch of amateurs wandering around like they own the place, waving their arms and casting their strange incantations. And the ocean rushed in, you know, took the whole place, killed everyone. It's quite the loss of life, you know. Lots of people dead, and they still wander around out here. And worse things than necromancers, my dears. Much, much worse things than necromancers live in this swamp, I'll tell you that much.
I'm surprised you're still out here with all those scary things.
Well, property values are cheap. It's affordable, my dear. You tried living in Waterdeep. Drain your pocketbook before you can even spell pocketbook. Pocketbook. Pocketbook.
I got something to
Nice
show you, though, since you're
job.
talking about necromancers and stuff.
Yes, my dear, what do you have? Something I could use?
I don't know about use, but I pull out the handbag.
I have a lot of bags, my dear.
I pulled the hand out. So we found this thing in a cave.
This is interesting. Oh my, yes, this is fresh. This is surprisingly fresh. Where did you find such an item?
A cave?
Yes, of course, a cave, my dear. Where else would it be? I imagine during the daylight, yes?
Your mom's house? No, I don't say that.
Come, tell me. Where did you find it?
We were.
She's excited.
Conneberry.
She's
Cave
excited.
near the mountains of Conneberry.
Conneberry. No.
Near the Tribor Trail?
That I know. All right. Tribor Trail. Yes. North. North still
East
more.
of Phandalin.
East of Phandalin. Phandalin's dead, isn't it?
Not
Until
anymore.
recently, yes.
Oh.
You could say the town is surprisingly fresh.
Is it? Oh, well, good for them. Yes, since that nasty business with the orcs all those years ago. It was a hard time on everyone back then, I'll tell you that much. Yes, that's the point. Yes, you found a cave north of, yes. And how long ago would you say, give or take?
It's been within a week, right?
Well, it's been a couple of weeks.
Has it?
Yeah.
It's been a couple of weeks, right?
Ooh, and it's still this fresh. Interesting. Yes, let me see here.
It's not a very nice hand.
Yeah, it likes to claw at people.
It's like
Watch out, it might be playing dead.
it's curled back, like trying to get its fingers as far away from her as possible. And
Does
it's just
everyone else just do that with their hands, or was it just me?
it's shaking. Now you don't need to
It
be.
looks scared of you.
You don't need to be afraid of Granny, my dear. Come here. And she'll reach out towards it. Do you let her grab it?
Sure.
Okay, well, she'll take it. Yes, interesting.
I'm still holding on to like the string that's attached to the hand though. Or whatever we attach to it.
And she's looking it over and like flexing all of the fingers and grabbing it and just being really creepy with it, actually. Yes, it's very strange. Yes. You know, necromantic hands are a big responsibility, my dear. I hope you're taking it for walks. Do you feed it regularly?
Every day.
How
Has
would it
no
eat?
mouth?
Oh, hush you. You know what I mean. These things need
No,
flesh.
Hannah's gonna stop talking.
Flesh, you know. Something alive would be best. Let it wring the life out of a rat or something. That'll keep it moisturized and not falling apart.
Why
do
would we
wanna
need to keep it alive? Yeah.
You don't want a zombie hand?
I mean, what can we do with it? We kind of just found it and
You
we're
have a
holding on to
zombie
it.
hand, my dear. We don't have to do anything with it. You just have it. But if it's this
Why?
fresh, that means somebody had to make it, I suppose. It's human. Yeah, that's what we can tell. I was expecting something else. It's human and this far. It's odd. Couple of weeks, you say? Near Connerberry. Huh. Well, I don't suppose there's anything you can do about it now. Here. Who had it?
Who what?
Who had it?
I had it.
No. She's asking you guys who had the hand.
We don't know?
Well, I mean, dearie, it's in your hands. You had to find it somewhere.
Like who possessed it before we took it?
Yes, that's what that's what that series of words mean, my dear.
I'm sorry, I'm not the smartest.
Sorry, I don't listen to race.
Oh, do be nice to yourself, dearie.
Some orcs had it chained up into their little alcove.
Orcs. Yeah, that's interesting. Orcs had a human zombie hand north of... Yes, well, I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's nothing, my dear. There's nothing to worry about. And if it is, well, maybe you'll get the job to go slay it later. Maybe.
Thanar's content with that answer.
So you're saying we should try to keep it alive, right?
My dear, you have a zombie hand. It's already dead. If you wanted to
not
keep
let it become more dead.
Yeah, well, that's entirely up to you, my dear. All you have to do is let it strangle the life out of something, and it'll be fine for as long as you want to keep it. Once a week should do. If that's all you need. Will you be headed back towards Waterdeep now, or what's your plans from here?
We might help out people in the roadhouse.
Oh.
Get ready for winter, but eventually we'll make our way to Waterdeep.
Help at the roadhouse? Do they need your help?
They need some preparations for the cold, and there's a lot of frog attacks lately. They're getting a little too cocky, and
like
they're getting too close to the town.
Her face, like, hardens to a point. Frog problem, you say? Giving the roadhouse a hard time, are they?
Yeah, we just dispatched like 13 of them on the way here.
Yes,
Almost got myself killed doing it.
Well, we can't have the roadhouse closing down. That wouldn't do at all. No, the roadhouse must stay open. That has to always be there for as long as it can. For reasons, my dear, for reasons that will become apparent, I'm sure. Yes, very well. Yes, quite. Well, if you do want to give them a hand, I highly suggest it. Are they going to pay you?
Does it prevent the swamp from spreading?
No.
Mr. Locke mentioned something about that.
Oh, No, my dear, no. Nothing prevents the swamp from spreading. That's ancient power beyond the comprehension of most mortals. No. The swamp will spread to some degree over the next thousands of years, but the roadhouse has nothing to do with that. No. It just lets people have a place to stay when they're traveling.
Yeah, we don't want it to fall.
That
So
would be...
that's why we might help them out. That's why we're killing these frogs and whatnot.
Well,
Scare them away.
I tell you what, dears. Let me see. If you would like to go back and help out the roadhouse from there, Granny will stay here, and she will help out the roadhouse from here. What do you say?
How would you do that?
Yeah.
You're awfully far.
She puts a finger next to her nose and says, "Secrets, my dear, secrets. You saw what I did out front? That was a nothing."
Well,
I think
if
that's
the
a
roadhouse
fair
concerns you,
agreement.
may as well help it.
Wonderful.
Have we
Wonderful,
learned
my
this
dears.
woman's name?
Huh?
Have we learned this woman's name?
You haven't asked. She keeps referring to herself as Granny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
she's
I was
Granny
content
in
with
my
Granny.
mind.
I mean, you can, of course, always ask.
No, it's too late.
Nah, because then I'd have to say my name, and like that's just not what I want to do.
Yeah, she didn't want to know our names. What do we want to know her name? She actually probably already knows our names, let's be honest.
Well, we did sign a piece of paper.
Yeah, no,
That's
mine's
true.
not legible. Are you kidding?
Honestly,
Mine's only one word too, so
yeah, it's like Fitz is probably the best, but it's also the least readable. That's how like signatures work, right?
It's real squiggly.
Oh yeah. It's like loopy and squiggly for no reason. Well, my
That's like his real signature.
Well, my dears, it's been lovely, but I believe I hear my cauldron boiling. And if it isn't, well, I must be toiling then, because it should be. All cauldrons should always be boiling. That's the first rule of making potions.
Yeah.
well, I
we'll
guess
head
we'll
back to
get
the
out of
roadhouse.
here.
Yes, well...
Before we go, what is your name?
Oh, most people just call me Granny, dear. But if you must know, my name is Esmeralda.
Huh.
It's a lovely name, don't you think?
They're very pretty.
Thank you, my dear. Now, I'm sure that we'll be speaking with each other again in the future, so do keep out of trouble, my dears.
We'll do our best.
I don't believe you, but that's okay. And she shuffles you out the door. If you will allow yourselves to be shuffled. You find yourself on the front porch, standing in the middle of this swamp. She says, "Oh, by the way, dearies, if you want to avoid the frogs, be very quiet next to the water. They have eyes and ears everywhere."
Thanar chuckles at Frog Eyes.
Now on with you. I have lots of work to do, you know.
Thanar shall wave. Keep walking.
All right. And as you walk away, she closes a door. The entire hut closes up. You see the lights on inside, and just as lights go flaring everywhere, Puffer, make me a perception check.
Perception. God, fuck you.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay. So you are like 100 yards away when all of you hear just like this coming from the shack, and just sort of a lance of green like fireworks coming up out of the chimney. Oh dear. And Puffer, your monocle flashes.